My project this weekend has been to set up a tank just for breeding egg scattering fish like these ember tetras. One of the obstacles to breeding egg scattering fish in an enclosed space is that they often like to eat their own eggs, and there's a few strategies that I'm aware of that help to prevent that. The first one that comes to my mind is an egg trap. In my case, I've always used shallow deli cups with some bushy plant material that will attract the fish to spawn in it, but make it much more difficult to find and eat the eggs. Sometimes they include a screen of mesh material for the eggs to fall down through, but I like just using plants. This was the primary method I used for harvesting celestial pearl danio eggs, but in that case I was dealing with fish that are almost magnetically attracted to plants when spawning. Other species tend to scatter their eggs more indiscriminately, so I think I need some different tools in the toolbox. So here's what I made myself. The tank itself isn't as critical, but I do want to tell you a little about it. This is an Aquarium Masters tank. I think it's about 2.5 gallons, and it's built to slide in these glass divider panels for housing bettas. I originally bought one to do experiments with plants, but since then I've found that their high footprint to volume ratio and even the dividers can be really useful for breeding fish. I have a small filter over here and a low profile heater with an external controller, which I've really grown to prefer. I always try to keep my heaters near a source of water flow, even if it's just an air stone. It helps to keep water moving around the heater and circulating into the rest of the tank, and I've found that it really helps to keep the water temperature even across the whole space. Another thing I wanted to show you is a paint that I've been using recently on the backs and bottoms of some of my tanks. This is a textured paint made by Rust-Oleum, and it comes out looking like some kind of sand or stone, and historically I've painted my tanks black, but I'm really liking this sandy look. It gives the appearance of a sandy bottom and background while still having the benefits of a bare bottom tank. I remember seeing Eric Bodrock do something like this, and I've always wanted to try it. Personally, the thing I appreciate most about it is that the lighter color and textured pattern reduces reflections off the back of the tank, and that's really helpful for me when trying to film what's going on in here. So now the important part. In this tank, I'm going to try using these mesh-covered panels to preserve any scattered eggs. I think this is what we would call a false bottom. The panels are made from plastic egg crate and sheets of coarse plastic mesh. The egg crate material gives the panel a rigid structure and also lifts the mesh screen about a half inch off the bottom, providing plenty of space for eggs to fall through and be safe from the fish. I was originally planning on gluing the mesh sheets and egg crate together, but 5 minutes in, I remembered I hate glue and just threaded small zip ties through the mesh around the edges. I wanted these panels to cover as much of the tank bottom as possible, but I made sure to leave a small gap around the edges, and I used 2 panels instead of 1 so that it would be easier to gently lift them out when it comes time to check for eggs. I was thinking about this last night, but the way that this tank is built for dividers might also come in handy. Sometimes it can be helpful to separate males and females for a short time before spawning, and the dividers might be a perfect way to do that. I could also use them to place and separate multiple pairs of fish in the same tank and get more eggs at a time. We'll see. I'm feeling optimistic about it, and if this works out, you'll probably see this tank again soon. While I have your attention, I have a quick couple of things to share. For those of you that expressed interest in more information on raising Daphnia, that video is coming. I decided to start a whole new tub so that we can see the process from the beginning, and it takes a few weeks for the population to ramp up. I also posted something on my channel's community tab that I'd love for you to take a look at. I have an idea for taking questions or suggestions that I've received and involving them somehow in future videos. And if there's enough interest, that's definitely something I'd like to try. I can also just pull directly from video comments, that's an option too, but I'll see what I can get. For now, that's it for me, so thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.